If you see somebody's in a relationship and they have incredible, not just love, but passion as well, and they've been together 20 years, they're not lucky. They're doing things different than you are in your relationship. So I was obsessed from an early age. I wanted answers because I was fat. I grew up in a family where I had 4 different fathers. I was not popular and I loved people, right? It's just like all these struggles. We don't have no money for food. That's why, I feed, some of you know, 100 million meals a year I donate. Every year I said I'm going to feed 1 billion people over 10 years. I'm in year number 7. We're already at 700 million meals. So I'm not doing that because I'm so good. I'm doing it because I know what it feels like to suffer. And I don't want anybody else to suffer. And so it made me become more to be able to figure that out. So if you're going to have a breakthrough, most people are trying to figure out the strategies. Let's take a simple example. How about, let's say, overweight? 70% of Americans are overweight. It's the largest level of fat in any country in the world. And unfortunately, those who around the rest of the world are beginning to model us. You see it even happening in China. Even in Japan, you're starting to see some of this. But China, a big example. And so we're all starting to model the same behaviors. So, okay, I'm overweight and I want to deal with it. How am I going to do that? What do most people do? They look for a strategy. They look for a diet or an exercise plan. Makes common sense, right? Just one problem. The real problem is not usually the strategy. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes people, they're going on a diet, like let's say the Atkins diet. And I don't know if you remember, 10 years ago, Time Magazine had the Atkins diet on the cover of Time Magazine. 15% of Americans were doing this one diet. And of course, like all these fad diets, kind of disappeared because if you did the Atkins diet, you had to pee on a stick because it made you so acidic. Some people would collapse. It's pretty horrible. And your breath smelled so bad. You ought to be a clue. This isn't sustainable, right? But everybody was doing it, so they had the wrong strategy. It worked for a while, because when your body's that acidic, you pee like crazy, you lose a lot of water weight, right? Most people, they don't feel good, they eat a little less, but it wasn't sustainable. Does that make sense? The problem wasn't usually just the strategy there. Because if I said to you, how hard is it to learn how to be fit and healthy and strong? In the world we live in today, you gotta are people not fit and healthy because it's so complex? Because the information is only saved for the top 1%? Because it costs so much money to get these answers? No, you and I know that's all BS. You have to pretty much hide your head not to see all the ways to make yourself healthy. If right now you wanted to get instruction how to get fit and strong, where could you go right now from the comfort of your own home? You could download some books, right? You can watch some videos, some audios, you get instruction, you get coached online. God forbid you could actually go to a workout facility in the future when they let you, right? And most people would drive around and think it all through. I hear people go, yeah, I'm going to get an exercise program together. I'm going online, I'm studying all these different trainers, I'm reading all this stuff, and I'm going to find the best one to get going. I'll look at them and go, you don't need a trainer, you just need somebody to get behind you and go, run, right? You don't need this, you just need to get going. Who knows what I'm talking about here? Say, you need to get momentum, right?
Self-love is when you say to yourself, man, look, I know you and that girl got a real connection. I know y'all vibe, but that's your girl's cousin. So I love you too much to let you do that. It's like you say to yourself, hey man, look, I know you want to eat that pizza and it'll be really good, but I can't let you eat that, man, because if you eat that pizza, you're going to feel like and I love you too much to let you eat that. Self-love is, hey, look, I know you got a test on Monday, and I know you really want to go out with your friends. It's Saturday night, you want to go out, but if you fail that test, you're not going to feel good about yourself. I love you too much to let you go out tonight. Self-discipline is self-love. If you want to be happy, you have to love yourself, which means you have to discipline your behavior. The road to sustained happiness is through disciplining your behavior.
But you're not afraid of failure. You're not afraid to take action. You're not afraid to jump. You're gonna fail 10 times, but you know what? It's cool. Because on the 11th time, you'll succeed. Oh, you'll succeed, all right. And it'll feel good. And while you're over here living the life of your dreams and complete happiness, guess where they're gonna be? That's right. They'll be failures, the real failures, over there where it's safe, scared to fail. Ironic, isn't it?
You must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas, unquestionably. You've got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. And it's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen. It's your dream. If you want it to happen, get your butt up and make it happen. If you want it to happen, rise and grind. I dare you not to go back to sleep. I dare you to get up, and I dare you to chase your dream. It's possible you can win. Whatever comes to you, don't run from it.
Stop compromising your life for people who really don't care if you succeed or fail. And that's a fact. You have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone, go out there and tackle obstacles, goals that you want to achieve. Not your mom, not your dad, not your girlfriend, not your brother, not your sister, not your kids. You gotta do what you want.
Detoxify your life. Let all the negative people in your life go. Can I change them? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. You are not like everybody else. You can walk outside and find pigeons, but if you're looking for eagles, it's going to take you a minute. You are different. Stop running from your pain and embrace your pain. Your pain is going to be a part of your prize, a part of your product. I challenge you to push yourself. You're going to hit a wall. And that wall shocks some people. That wall stuns some people. That wall discouraged some people. It's painful hitting that wall.
But the human soul can't be on fire without a dream. A human soul is not fed by facts. A human soul is fed instead by a belief that it can accomplish what it wants to accomplish. It's fed by that thing, that idea that you've had in your mind, that you fanned those flames of interest and turned it into a real fascination and fanned those flames further into excitement and allowed yourself to truly embody.
How bad do you want your goal right now? I think there's a lot of people in the world today, because it's a really niche thing to talk about, I want this is my outcome, this is my goal. Like, how bad do you want? Do you want it as bad as breathing? Do you want it as bad as anything you ever wanted in your life? And if you calibrate it at the highest enough levels, what I found is the people that are the hungriest, they find a way. When you know why you want something, when it's desperation, the power of being desperate is something that most people avoid. They think desperation is a weakness. And I'm here to tell you, desperation is one of the most powerful emotions you could possibly possess, because when you're desperate, you find reserves and reservoirs of ideas, talents, and a strength that you don't know you have when you find yourself in a desperate situation. So ironically, the one thing most people avoid in their life, hunger, which is caused by being desperate. When you're starving, you become desperate. Think of somebody who's starving on the street. They've got to, how resourceful would you get if your children were literally starving and you had to feed them, right? So the number one thing we need more than anything to win is hunger, which comes from a state of desperation. Yet we're constantly trying to comfort ourselves in the real world to avoid the state of being desperate. And I'm telling you that I think you need to embrace desperation again in your life. Like, do you want it so bad that you're desperate for it? See, in a fight, you show me two people. This is why it's so hard to repeat as a champion in the fighting game. Because you show me someone who's up and coming, who's hungry for that title, who's never had it before, who can taste it, who knows if they win that belt, their whole life's gonna change. They're gonna be champion of the world, all the endorsements, all the money, all their family life, all their parents' lives are gonna change. You show me somebody chasing that, hungry for it, against someone who's just trying to hold on to a title. And that's why most of the time the challenger beats the champ. It's hard to repeat as a champion because the hunger goes down just a little bit. The greatest athletes, the Kobes, the Bradys, the Jordans of sports, have a way of feeding their hunger all the time and increasing it. What separates them isn't just their work ethic, isn't just their talent, although those things matter, isn't just they practice more. What separates them is they're just hungrier. They somehow find a way as they climb up the ranks and win championships to get even hungrier for more, where 99% of the athletes lose just a little bit of their edge once they get that first championship, that first pro contract, that first big amount of money, that first world championship. They just lose their hunger a little bit. And then there's the elite. They get hungrier. It feeds the beast.